Hey, here we are. I know we didn't get lost, and I hear the Earth's flat, but we didn't fall off the edge. But if there's any reason why we haven't been around for a few months, because Dr. Joe was in Italy. So what better reason, So now he's coming back as not like he was in the Dom before, but now it's real Cairo Mafia right here.
That's right, baby. It was me. It's tough because Italy's 6 hours and then you're 3 hours, so we're 9 hours off. So it wasn't easy connecting, that's for sure.
Yeah, because by the time I'm getting up, you're like, dude, it's the sun's going down. I have to go to bed.
I go to bed at 9 o'clock. I'm BG Palmer. I don't care what's going on. 9 a.m., 9 p.m. hits, I go to bed, man.
Yeah,
That's the way it is. But
funny.
I'm a 5 a.m.er, so
Yeah, cool. Well, hey, we were sitting there talking about, well, hey, this is our re-inauguration of this
yeah,
podcast.
yeah.
What do you want
Lots
to talk
happened
about? And,
in the world.
you know, we, it's like being coaches, we talk about similar things, right? And one of the things that we are talking about, I don't know what you call it, post Charlie Kirk, I remember seeing an interview, and the interviewer said, what do you want to be known for? And he said, the courage to tell the truth. And then that's chiropractic. It's the universal law. Energy's got to get to matter, man. Divinity and humanity. We're creating the likeness and image of God, Genetics 127, right? We're spiritual beings, universal intelligence and innate intelligence. Intelligence. What's the difference? Universal intelligence, God. What's innate intelligence? God within us.
Right.
That is a truth. Energy's got to get to matter, and that level of consciousness, innate intelligence is why we don't get sick. And so the thing is, people think because you're a healthcare provider, here's the problem. The problem is people come in with a health problem and then you solve it and they're conditioned for healthcare. I have a problem. I go see a doctor. You fix the problem and it's gone. That's the problem with focusing on their problem on day one, where their only problem is you're 46 years old. You never took care of your spine and nervous system,
Right.
right? That's the only problem. Now look how you ended up. It's like
Yeah.
talk to one of your buddies. What the fuck did you do, man? Now look at you. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
What's the
Exactly.
difference
That-
with a patient? Like nobody told you.
Right.
All those MDs that gave you drugs, they didn't tell you your spinal cord's your lifeline,
Right.
carrying energy to your body. Well, does that piss you off? You suffered with, asthma for 42 years,
Right.
and he never asked you about traumas.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so these are the things, that take, I don't know if they take courage. I think they take conviction of the truth and
Yes.
taking on the identity, not just your responsibility, but
Yes.
the identity of a truth teller. Then all of a sudden, courage pours from your heart because you do it out of love, not what you think they're going to want to hear or not hear.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. One of the lines that we share is, don't accommodate, educate. We were talking about that before we went live here, but the idea that you and I both said it, you're not in the customer service business. I always tell people, and one of the ways we train our staff, like it's not Hertz rental car. You're not there to accommodate them. You're there to lead them, not reprimand, not embarrass, not shame, but you're there to lead them. When you miss an adjustment, if you say, oh, okay, no problem, that's accommodating is a simple example. But when you say to somebody, Fred, I was concerned. Anytime you miss, you lose healing and correction. It's going to be important we make that up. It's important that we get in and talk to the doctor, see what's going on. Like that's leading them. That's taking their behavior and nudging them and leading them into a better direction. The reality is, I wouldn't have to do I call it the dog and pony show. I wouldn't have to do day one, day two, day three, and all the little things if everybody knew what we knew, but they don't, right? So you have to do that. And because we, if you will, work against the current of what healthcare is, they're gonna leave your office and they're stuck in the current. They're stepping over the line of crazy land, right? So every time they come in, if you're not repositioning them, if you're not leading them, if you're not elevating their understanding, elevating their consciousness, if you're not, you always say like creating believers, if you're not doing that every single time, they dilute and then they leave. And they're always going to default to the prior program, which is going to be go to the doctor, like you were saying, right? Go to the doctor when I hurt, I'm better, and then I leave. But that's because you're practicing natural allopathy, you're practicing healthcare, you're offering treatment rather than indicating and elevating their understanding of what it is you're really doing. Like, don't talk symptoms. I've never met a practice member in my entire life that had trouble telling me symptoms. I mean, so why would I tell symptoms? My attitude is, hey, Fred, I appreciate it. Let's see where the spine's out. Let's see what's inhibiting your healing. Let's see what's causing your body not to be functioning as well. Like, that's the conversation you want to have.
Yeah, exactly. There's so many things as you're going on, that there's little things that you say that I don't know if people pick up. And you said, hey, if a person misses an appointment, what did you miss? Healing.
Right.
Now, why do people miss program? And why do people miss appointments? Because you're selling a program. They
Right.
don't care about the program, right?
Right.
And the problem is there's like what you say, and you say it, but you say it so fluidly. I don't know if people get it because you can only get what your level of consciousness can hear.
Yeah.
So, it's so funny to interrupt myself. I was teaching a boot camp a while ago, and the client's been with me for years, man. And at the break, he goes, man, that's the first time you said this. There was another guy who's been with me. I'm like, dude, I say that this,
Every time.
yeah, your 15th boot camp. No, I say every time. No, you don't. He got mad. No, you don't. I'm like, yeah, yeah, I do. And
Yeah.
there's another guy that's been with me for like 8 years, and he says it every boot camp. It's like you can't believe it, right? Because you can only hear at the
Right.
level of consciousness, right?
Absolutely.
And so one thing you said is healing. Now the problem is people miss an appointment. One of the stats we keep is percent kept appointments.
Yes.
We don't track percent missed because then
Yes.
you get what you focus on, right?
Yes.
Percent kept, right? Now and what do people say, especially the once a weekers? Well, they come in once a week, but if they don't make it on Monday, they make it on Wednesday, and you're just happy they showed up. Well,
Right.
what's your
Right.
job?
Right.
Is to see how are they showing up once a week? Are they subluxated from head to toe? Because if they are, they're living in the state of disease more than a state of health. And this is what I say to my clients. Does that bother you that your patients are living more of their life in the state of disease while under your care than the state of health?
Right.
Or are you just glad they showed up? And so that's one of the things. If you're on once a week and you come Monday one week and Thursday the next, that's not 7 days, that's 10 days.
Right.
And if you miss an appointment, you better show up. Look, man, you're friggin' I got to adjust 5 things today.
Yes.
Friday, when you made it every week, I had to adjust one thing by Friday. Like if you're having to adjust the same thing every time and they're making their appointments, there's a problem.
Yes.
Like by Monday, Wednesday, Friday, when you check them before their adjustment on Friday, they should look better than they did when they walked in on Monday.
Yes.
That's the point,
Yes.
right? And so people are, and that's what you said. Well, what did you miss? You missed your healing. I mean,
Exactly.
I'm checking you on Monday. Today's Thursday. You spent the last 3 to 4 days, minimally those days in the state of disease.
Yes.
Now, if they show up Monday, let's say they make Monday and they're subluxated from head to toe. We got two problems. One, you're not stable enough to be on once a week, meaning your level of correction and lifestyle don't match. You're living subluxated. Or number two, we say we have this principle. Once they're in the program, we're going to teach you how to use your body in the way that creates health rather than disease. So what's that mean? You went back to your old habits that got you injured and sick. You can't use your body the same way that got you injured and sick, or
Yes.
you're going to get injured and sick again.
Yes. Exactly.
So what are your habits?
Yes.
Let's look at your habits, change them.
Right. One of our conversations we have with people is why'd you break? Because you'll hear that in practice a lot. Like, oh, doc, you got to fix me. Well, I appreciate that. Let me ask you a question, Bob. Why do you think you broke? Like, why did you break? Why'd you break down? Why is it broken? Because you were taking really good care of it, and they kind of giggle, no. And then when they want to stop, I'll say, well, let me ask you a question. Why do you think you got sick? Like, look at your x-ray now. Let's look at your scans. Like, answer me this, Bob. Why do you think it looks so bad? Because they'll say it looks bad. Well, because you were taking such good care of it? No. So let me get this straight. And again, I'm not trying to give you a hard time, but so your answer is what got me sick was neglecting it. I came in and got some care. I feel better. I'm healing better. So now I want to go back to what I did before that got me sick. Does that sound like good advice? Well, no. Well, why are you giving yourself that advice then? Why are you taking that advice? Well, and then sometimes they'll get it, or sometimes it'll reveal their objection, their obstacle. Well, time's tough, money, whatever, and then sometimes you can help them, sometimes you can't, but at least I always call it revealing. Most everybody gets it. You just got to get it. You got to reveal it. You got to
Yeah.
reveal it. You got to remove the layers to get to reveal it. And then usually once you get to some core values and principles, you'll have it, and it's not 100%, but you have a better shot at leading them. You have a better shot at leading them. So,
Yeah. Well, it's funny because, I got a client of mine and he's going to UPW, Tony Robbins thing. We teach a lot of that communication, and elite,
yes,
that's who I studied from,
yes,
right? And so I told him, forget about going through the experience. You're going to go through the experience. Watch what he's doing.
yes,
Listen for the pattern interruptions, right?
yeah,
So when people say, Doc, I think I want to take a break. I go, okay, just curious. Are you going to take a break from breathing?
yeah, exactly.
You know what? My lungs work all the time. You know what? Are you going to tell your heart, you know what? You beat a lot,
Right, exactly,
72 times a minute. I'm 46 years old. Just relax. You don't have to do that. Just stop for a month, maybe six
exactly,
months.
exactly.
Well, are you going to do that? Are you going to tell your heart something? Well, no. Well, don't you have energy going down your spinal cord that's keeping you alive? But that doesn't mean you're healthy.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, so why would you take a break from your spinal cord?
Yes.
Then just tell your heart to stop. You know what? You need to rest.
We ask them how their dentist took it. I appreciate that. I get that. How'd your dentist take it? What do you mean? Well, you're taking a break from here. You're going to quit brushing and flossing and not taking care of your teeth too? Well, no. Well, why aren't you stopping that? It creates the conversation to have the conversation. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
well, those are all now when you look at his body language, what do you went? Well, no, that's called a pattern interruption. And
Exactly.
pattern interruption confuses them, and then
Yeah.
you reframe, right? Well, like you're gonna stop. You tell your heart stop. You're gonna. Well, yeah.
Exactly.
How'd
No,
your dentist
what do you
react? I don't.
mean?
I don't
What do
know
you
what you
mean?
mean. Well, when you told me you're gonna stop flossing and brushing, what? Ah, that's called a pattern interruption.
How's your heart know what to do? What tells it what to do? What tells your liver what to do? Do you ever think about that?
Just
So if
tell
you
all
cook
your
it, is it
organs
better
to
or
take a
worse?
break. Yeah, take a break.
Yeah.
Really, you guys work really hard. Just,
Yeah.
yeah, take a break. We're all
Take a
good.
break. Yeah. Taking a break. Stop and doing what got you well is going to do what to your health? Great question. Or
Yeah,
how does stopping doing what got you well keep you well? How? It got you well. So stopping it, how does that keep you well? Well, it doesn't. Well, so do you want to stay well or no? Well, yeah, I want to stay well. So why are you stopping then? Like, you
yeah.
know, it
Well,
just
and
it
if you
creates the
notice,
conversation.
what are Joe and I doing? I mean, people say, well, I like this one liner and it really worked. Hey, I appreciate that. And that's why we do it. But if you look at how do we think? We're not
Yeah,
fixing the subluxation of the spine, we're fixing the subluxation between the ears. But what are we
yeah,
doing?
yes,
Asking powerful questions,
yes,
questions that make them think differently, that
yes,
rewire their brain.
yes,
And here's
yes,
where, I go through this at the boot camps, and there's studies that show when a doctor gives recommendations to a patient, 40 to 80% of what they say is forgotten. Okay,
yes,
ready? Immediately.
yes.
Now that's talking from your left brain,
Right. I know
right?
this.
Now, the thing is, left brain is what you already know. So, left brain stores knowledge, stores facts, and it's knowledge. And then once you know it, then it goes in your subconscious mind, right? Your right brain learns abstract principles. So, is chiropractic lifestyle abstract for the average person?
No.
It's different. They're not used to it, right?
Yes.
But the right brain has a different language.
Yes.
The right brain language is analogies. That's what you just did. Well, what'd your dentist say? The
Yeah.
right brain is a story. So you're using analogy and putting in a story. Well, what did he say when you told him? Did he say, oh, yeah, no, 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 go ahead and stop?
Don't brush, don't floss.
Yeah,
Exactly.
no, man. Hey, it's all good, right? So what are you doing? You're telling a story. They use metaphors, they use images. And so here's the thing, you have left brain systems, but if I point that out again, what are Joe and I doing? Asking questions, teaching them how to think, not
Yeah.
what to think. Because if
Yeah.
you tried to handle it with logic, which is, well, if you quit, you're going to lose your results, the avoidance
Yes.
of pain isn't long-term change.
Yes. Correct. Correct.
So, so that's the funny thing is like, and this is what we teach in the boot camps. It's what you do automatically. And if your clients mimicked what you do, they can go take their practice to any level, right?
Exactly.
And I
Yeah.
put a little bit of science into it. Like your left brain is not building your practice.
Yes.
Your
Yeah.
right brain is.
Yes. Yeah.
And what's growth? Creating something that doesn't exist.
Yeah. Exactly.
And what's changing the belief system from healthcare into healthcare lifestyle to chiropractic? You're creating someone and a belief system that doesn't exist.
Yes.
So if you don't see the end in mind first in your imagination, then you have storytelling analogies and you develop the process to get there. See
Yeah.
the difference with like what you and I do and what we teach, like running a 10K. You know where the tape is when you're at the starting line. If you don't, you're never going to cross starting line because you're going to be
Right.
10 miles off the path.
Exactly.
You
Exactly.
already know where you're going, but you haven't run the race yet.
Right.
So what do that you may not describe it this way? You already have the outcome, you know it's sure.
Yes.
You interact with the patient and yeah, you have a system, but you let the patient tell you how to get them there,
Correct.
right? Because depending on what you say is going to depend on what I say.
Yes.
But what we already know is we are running through the tape. You will agree that this is a healthcare lifestyle at the end of day one.
Yes.
But
Exactly.
how am I going to get you there? Well, I have a pre-consult, but everybody's a little bit different.
You know,
So even on a script, two people should not have the same experience.
correct.
Even
Yeah.
if the script is verbatim,
Yes.
you adapt it to the person.
Yes. Yeah. You
It's a
are leading
right
them. Go ahead.
brain function.
Yeah. It is like going back to our initial topic, it is leadership. You're not in healthcare and traditional healthcare, and we look at it that way. And the more, one of the analogies I always think about is like if you have allergies, take that for example. You got allergies, and you go to the pharmacy and you're like, I got allergies, I need to go to the pharmacy. And you go to the pharmacy and you ask the helper, the clerk, hey, where's your medications for allergies? And hey, it's aisle 13. And you go to aisle 13 and you look, there's going to be six shelves and it's going to be 30 feet long of all the different medication you could take for allergy. Most of it's the same, it's all packaging, but most of it's almost the same medication, right? Because there's all these different forms of treatment for allergies. Now, let's say you go there and you say, I hurt my back or my neck. Let's take that as an analogy. So they're going to go, oh, that's aisle 11, right? So what do you got? You got analgesics, you got anti-inflammatories, right? And they're going to be in there and they're going to go, God, what else can I do? Well, I could do the medication. And then what else is in the aisle, if you will, not maybe in the pharmacy, but in the mindset? I can go to a physiatrist, I go to a physical therapist, massage therapist, acupuncturist, family doctor, orthopedic doctor. So they're all, if you will, on the shelf as a choice to treat your back pain. But if you go there and say, look, I got a subluxation here and I got to get it taken care of, and you go to aisle one, there's only one thing. There's not a whole bunch of shelves. There's one thing on a shelf that's chiropractic. So if you make yourself in your own aisle, if you make yourself in your own lane, if you stop treating people, if you stop trying to be, the doctor of ailments, if you stop trying to be natural allopathy and you start talking, hey, what's obstructing your ability to function, what's obstructing your body's ability to heal. They already know their brain tells their body what to do, and they already know a crooked spine or an out of alignment spine is going to interrupt that. You bring it out, you reveal it with proper communication, then there's only one answer. So even if they hurt or don't hurt, even if they have allergies, they don't, even if their migraines don't go away, whatever, it doesn't matter. You're still better off with a less subluxated spine than you were before. So now they're coming to you and they're bringing their kids for you to you because you're reducing interference to the nervous system and you're allowing their body to heal and function better. That's ultimately what you're doing. So the more you create the environment to have that kind of conversation, the less symptoms and the less they'll have expectations for that outcome, and they stay a lot longer, hopefully for a lifetime. And that is, you have to lead them to that every time. Every single, I always say they never get it. You have to lead them to that every single time you see them, you touch them, every single time. If you're not adjusting above Atlas every time, you're diluting it, they're leaving, and they're not going to stay.
Well, absolutely. Now, here's the thing, I'm always researching human behavior, right?
Yeah,
I got this book and it's what were the characteristics of a movement? So what are movements and cultures? Well, Hitler was a movement.
yeah,
Jesus was a movement. Gandhi was a movement.
yeah,
Martin Luther King. So when you look back at all the people that create these massive movements that change the lives of millions of people, what was the common, what are the common characteristics? One, they have an enemy. So what was the enemy of Martin Luther King? Racism. How about Gandhi? British rule in India. How about, I'm not saying this was good, but what about Hitler? Right? Basically
yeah,
the Jews, the Aryan race. And
right.
the second thing is they have hope for a better world. Hitler, the Aryan race, going to create a better world. Look at Jesus, your relationship with God, right? And what about Gandhi? Freedom. What about racism?
Yeah,
Unity, the highest consciousness.
yeah, equality,
And
yes.
so that's the thing. So how do we do that in chiropractic? Because if you don't create the enemy, then they'll know where aisle one is, but they're already conditioned on the other 15 aisles.
Yeah,
So what
correct.
do you have to do? Four words. Four words, and you'll create an enemy. Did they tell you?
Yeah,
Right? We were talking about this before. Like, hey, when you've been on an asthma inhaler for 20 years, and then you find out, well, shoot, man, you fell off a horse and landed on your head as a teenager, and 2 years later you had asthma. Did your pediatrician or did your doctor even talk about how the spine and nervous system supplies energy, and when you traumatize your neck like at 16, then you got asthma 2 years later?
yeah,
He didn't tell you that? He didn't tell you need to go to chiropractor and fix that whip compression injury? Oh, okay. So when you're talking about kids, right? So what didn't they tell them? The principle.
exactly.
They didn't tell you spinal cord's lifeline. That's your health and life, right? And the amount of energy based on your spinal structure is going to determine whether you're state of health or state of disease. Now that's how you talk on the daily visit. You're either 100% in the state of health or your body's in the state of disease. You miss an
Correct,
appointment, you're in the state of disease.
correct,
Stay on your program, make this lifestyle, you're going to live in the state of health.
correct.
Now, when you tell people, especially like patients that come in, I've been to 12 docs and they walk in hopeless, right? Well, did they tell you this? Did they tell you that? No. Did they even check it? No, they didn't. Like you guys probably, yeah, I do that. Did they tell you? Then they should look upset. It's like if you were at a zoo, what am I doing? Telling a story, giving a metaphor. If you were at a zoo and your kid said, "Mommy, mommy," like when we were kids, you went to the zoo. They didn't have the lions in these big enclosures. They were in a little
Yeah,
cage right in front of you, right?
right.
So, mommy, I want to see the lion roar. Hey, well, here's this broomstick. Let me just poke him. That's giving facts. If you poke a lion a couple times, but he doesn't wake up, because you poked him, you think they get it. No, the lion didn't roar. What's your little kid going to say? Mommy, poke him harder. I want to see him roar, right? What's poking on? Did they tell you? What did they tell you this? Did your pediatrician tell you this with your kid? Did they tell you there's generational patterns? You have autoimmune and your kid has allergies. Did the doctor even ask you about that? He's following the same pattern that you are. What are you doing? Poke, 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 poke until the lion roars. Now they're going to be, that's bullshit. How come they didn't tell me? Which you're probably already getting sometimes, but are you getting it with 100% of the patients?
Right. Yes.
Because when the lion roars and you create that enemy, now you've given him purpose.
Yes.
Because what do chiropractic lifestyle patients don't do? They don't go to MDs.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
right there, well, if they didn't tell you that was the foundation of health and you suffer with asthma for 22 years, are you ever going to go back?
Right.
That I would ask them that. Are you going to go back? Now, what did you just eliminate? Well, I want to get another opinion. Well, my
Right.
sister's a medical doctor. Well, I want to go talk to my primary health care provider. Like all that bullshit is because you didn't say, did they tell you? You didn't create an enemy.
Yeah. Yeah. Reposition them. Yes.
Yeah,
Look at,
now that when they have enemy, they have purpose.
yes. Yeah.
Now they're going to be messengers
Yes.
and they're going to build your practice for you. Because
Yes.
what are they going to do? They're going to go to everybody that's on medication,
Yes.
their family, not only immediate family, but extended family.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I'll let you talk after this one
No,
thing.
no, no. Go ahead.
I always say if your patient can touch someone, like right now I can't touch you, but we're having a conversation, so I can metaphorically touch you, right? So if they can touch you, if you can touch your mom, if you can touch your dad, if you can touch your kids, if you can touch your siblings, if you can touch your BFF, if you can touch them, then I can touch them.
Exactly.
Meaning you're responsible for everybody they can touch.
Yeah.
So if that person has a disease or diagnosis or dies, that's your responsibility. And if
Yeah.
you don't see that, that's why you're stuck.
Yeah. Yeah. They're certainly more apt to. They're more likely to have a conversation. Mom, you keep taking that. Like, I don't know, you should go see Dr. Joe. At least they'll be much more likely to have that conversation than go get a pill bottle for their mother and not say anything. I mean, you're
Yeah, if
trying
they
to.
have an enemy, they will,
Yeah.
right? Because
Correct.
they
Yes.
don't want other people to suffer
Yes.
with the thought you
Yes.
become a truth teller.
Yes.
Hey, it's not like you're dogging on anybody, but did they tell you that? Did they tell you that? Did they tell you that?
Right.
Because
Right.
people come in conditioned, even with other chiropractors. Oh, I've been to eight chiropractors just to crack my back. Well, did they tell you this? Did they tell you that? Did they even take x-rays?
Yes. Exactly.
And you're not dogging on the chiropractor. You're just wondering if they told you the whole story.
Exactly.
You're not
Exactly.
making them wrong, just what they left out.
Correct.
But it's been ruling your life. Would you agree now that you know?
Yes, exactly. Certainly hasn't helped. It certainly hasn't helped it, right? Hasn't helped it. Your life hasn't been better as a result of it, right? You have the
Well, and that's the
100%.
difference is they have to see the spinal cord as their lifeline
Yes.
as an
Yeah.
identity, not anatomy.
Yes.
Because they can separate from anatomy, right?
Yes.
Like you have a left arm, but if you got elbow pain, that's not your identity. That's just a condition you have.
Yeah.
And then when it's gone, you're okay, right? But your spinal
Right.
cord is your identity, man. That's why you're alive. One.
Exactly.
Two, the amount of energy is going to determine whether you're in the state of health, state of disease.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, that's who you are. It's not just what you have,
Right.
it's running your life. So that's an agreement we get on day one. Once they find out that, then you say, would you agree the quality of your health is determining the quality of your life? Well, if that's dependent on energy through the spinal cord, how important is it to take care of it your whole life?
Exactly.
Because you're 42 and you haven't done it yet, and look how you're showing up.
Exactly. Is it working for you, Dr.
Yeah,
Phil, right?
exactly.
How's it working for you? How's it working for you? And then, well, you know what else is kind of, it is sad. And again, it takes leadership and it takes your ability to communicate and it takes the right questions. But they, again, because they don't know, right? Somebody will come in and say, practice member, patient, right? And they'll say, hey, like, I just want to make this go away. And what breaks my heart, and again, You have to lead them into a different level of thinking, but they're happy with just getting that gone. When in reality, their body's functioning 30, 40, 50% below what it could have been before they started to hurt. You know, how they see, how they think, how they taste, how they touch, how they feel, how they digest, relationships, intimacy, like all of that
It's
is
identity.
diminished. Yeah, it's all diminished to some degree if the nervous system is diminished, right? So they don't even know that. So they don't know how sick they are. You wish you could put them in a machine and go, okay, this is what you'd feel like if you were fully unsubluxated. Oh my God, like, wow, right? And then it's like, well, here you are now. How's it, wow, that's horrible. All right, I want that. I know I want that. I want that, but, it's tough. So you have to use examples, analogies, metaphors. You have to use, diagnostic testing for analysis for subluxation. And you have to have conviction. Part of it is knowing the protocol and procedure. So for docs listening, yes, I use the analogy of a cake. Like if I make a great chocolate cake, it's the best fucking cake you've ever had in your life. Can you make my cake? Yeah. What do you need? Well, I need ingredients. I need the recipe and I need the strategies. Like I need all those things. I
Yeah,
can't just
but Joe
the part.
Borio's love goes into that cake.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. That's
That's
right.
that's what you have to reproduce.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and the
So
whole time you're licking your finger and drinking wine, and maybe you got some
yeah.
eggplant parmesan on the
It's
side.
gonna be baked. It's gonna be baked. They will sterilize it. Don't worry.
Yeah.
So then I got a strategy though. I can't like do when do I add the eggs and when do I add the flour? Like that's all part of whether you work with Fred or you work with me, there's gonna be systems or protocols or procedures that you have to learn. But the question is, why aren't you doing it? And that's another big part that you have to figure yourself out. Like you have to figure out for yourself, why aren't you doing it? Are you scared? Are you afraid of rejection? Are you living in a state of stress and scarcity that you're going to placate to everybody because one no is going to prevent you from getting your electric bill paid? So you're like, I'll do whatever they need right now because I just got to get some money through the door, and that's an awful place to be. But and I get it, and I'm not saying judgment, but you need to start looking at yourself, going, listen, why aren't you doing what some of the things that you should be doing? Because in the end, that's 50% of the challenge right now. It is the big challenge that's preventing you. You are getting in the way. You are getting in the way. I had somebody recently on a coach call yesterday, actually. Today's Friday, yeah, so yesterday, and they said, hey, I did exactly. I changed what I did, and I said it exactly like you say, and it's been 100% since I did that because they were at 50%.
Right.
So I have a slide in our events. I always say, try doing what your coach told you the first time. If what you did didn't work out, try doing what your coach told you the first time.
Okay.
So, of course, I had to throw that out there. But then it was like, well, why didn't you do that? And it was like, well, I don't know. The script doesn't feel like it's me. I feel like it's
And you're
inauthentic.
like, that's the problem.
Right. Of course it's not
You got
you.
to change who you believe you are.
Right, exactly. See, you think you are who you are right now, and I appreciate that. I'm not judging that. So, of course, when you see somebody that's the top of the line in the NBA or NBA or baseball or whatever, use a sport analogy, right? Like, and they say, hey, do it this way. It's going to feel weird. You're going to go, wait, you want me to hold the bat this way or hold the club this way? Or you want me to do it this way? Like, wow, it's totally crazy for me because you're an amateur, because you don't know. It's going to feel weird. It's going to feel awkward. You're taking somebody that's the best in the world, and he's going to tell you in 30 seconds or 3 minutes exactly how he does it. And you're like, wow, that doesn't seem natural. That doesn't seem right. It feels awkward. The ball's going to go, no, that's not going to work for me because you can't see it. You can't visualize it from that
You don't have
person.
the consciousness.
Right, exactly. So I come in and I say, hey, listen, read it over, do it this way. Well, it doesn't feel authentic. Well, I appreciate that. But what you have in your hand is 37 years of wisdom, 37 years of experience, 37 years of success. That's what you have in your hand right now. You don't have 37 years of that. So, of course, you're coming at it going, well, geez, that just seems weird or awkward or unnatural because that isn't where you're at yet. So you just fake it till you make it. Follow exactly what you did, which is what this doc did. And he was like, wow, 100% of people were signing up where he was getting less than 50% when he started.
I know we run into that all the time. I've
Yeah,
seen,
yeah,
after Charlie Kirk got assassinated, there's Charlie Kirk videos everywhere, right?
yeah,
So fascinating how much that guy knows, man. But anyway,
yes,
he
yes,
was, he's on campus and this guy was dogging on billionaires. Well, billionaires do this, billionaires do that. And Charlie interrupted him. He goes, how many billionaires do you know and hang out with? None. We go, well, how do you know how they think?
exactly.
And that's the same thing, right? It's like
Yeah,
if we apply that analogy, you're the billionaire, you're the guy that sees the world differently. That's why you did what you did, or you
yes,
do what you do.
yes,
You're just trying to help everybody else get that way.
yes,
And that's what, that's, we do our healed spiritual seminars. I go, the foundation of chiropractic is your spiritual foundation.
totally.
Why? Because that's your conviction, right? And the
Yeah,
next thing is it's like your practice will only stay at the level of your consciousness.
yeah,
Like, hey, if a guy's got a 200 a week practice and he wants to go to 350, that's a different person.
yes,
You're not this, and then the 350 guy, well, God, 350 is not bad. I want to go to 500. No,
yes,
that's a different person,
yes,
right? I mean, think about where when you were at 300 and then you went to 500 and then over 700, like over 700, your feet aren't even touching the ground, let
yes,
alone
yes,
2000. I mean, you saw
yeah,
700 a
yes,
day, right? It's
yes,
like you're on a completely different level of consciousness.
yes, yes,
And that's your practice level in your life, and that's why they don't understand it. Because you got to change who you believe you are to get to the next level of practice. Change
yes,
your belief systems about yourself.
yes. You got to make it about, and I know it's easy to say and it's tough for some people to get there, but chiropractic, we're always talking about inside out. And yet, as chiropractors, we're always looking outside in to grow our practice, and we forget the benefit and the focus that it's this. I always say you practice between the 6 inches between your ears. Like, here's your practice. It's not a box. It's not some place with tables in it. You are your practice. This is your practice. This is the most important piece of instrument in your practice. It's the most important piece of equipment in your practice. This is where you need to put the time, energy, and money if you want to grow your practice. And you got to make it about serving people. Einstein always said, don't be a man of success, be a man of value, be a man of service. So, Zig Ziglar said, you want to make $1 million? He said, help. I switch it to serve, like serve a million people. You want to make $1 billion? Serve a billion people, like serve people, serve them. It doesn't mean you can't benefit from the service. But if you focus first making about them, then I'm not attached to the outcome. I'm not going to feel rejected if you say no to me. I'm not going to worry about rejection in the moment because it wasn't about me in the first place. It was about helping them. And if they're not ready, fine. The other part of it too is it's a numbers game. If I would go out and work towards getting referrals. And I was about 30% if I was out in the general public I could get at my best. You always have a day that's a little better, but at my best, I would get 3 out of 10 people I talk to in my office. I have a real specific system that I teach. It takes moments. It's very, very effective. So I get 30%. So I realized one day that, look, if I go ask 10 people, I'm going to get 3 of them to come in and get checked. And I have the opportunity to make them a practice member. So if I want more of that, then I got to do 20. So if I do 20 people, I got six, and so forth and so on. So part of it too is, I didn't go, wow, I'm getting rejected 7 times. I don't want to do it. I looked at it, well, I'm going to serve 3 people out of every 10. So as if I want more numbers, I got to just ask more people. But a lot of people, and I feel bad for them that they can't handle the rejection. But if you're worried about the rejection, you're making it more about you and less about them. You got to switch that, and make it more about them. If you do that, you're going to put yourself out there. The more you put yourself out there, who's your chiropractor, you're going to get more. Hey, I've been meaning to see somebody, and next thing you know, you're getting them in your office.
Yeah, absolutely, man. But why, and this is the thing that I got to get going here in a minute, but
Yeah,
this is a thing like, wherever we go. you build a practice and you get people talking about chiropractic. Like I could be in a liquor store getting my tequila for the weekend,
Yes.
Friday night,
Yes.
and
Yes.
there'd be somebody in there go, dude, those are the most orange shoes I've ever seen. Where'd you
Yes.
get those tennies, right? And
Yes.
they'll go, oh, thanks, because you talked about them, they love you, and they'll go,
Yes.
yeah, I was running, but haven't been able to run. I brought them to run, but now my back hurts. I mean,
Yes.
how often does that happen besides everywhere
Yes.
you go? Why? Because I'm a chiropractor.
Yes.
It's not
Exactly.
like you're only like it's amazing how many chiropractors don't talk to people.
Yes.
Well, you walk out of your clinic and you're not a chiropractor anymore.
Yes. Yes.
Like I'm a chiropractor. Am I also a dad? Yep. Am I also a husband? Yep.
Yes.
Am I also somebody's BFF? Yep. Am I also a coach? Yep. But what's the bottom line? I'm a chiropractor.
Right.
I
Yes.
am the message of chiropractic, and
Yes.
people come up to you. I was the other week in the gym. Some dude came up to me, and you say hi to everybody because you're friendly. And he just walked up and said, hey, what do you do? Out of the blue, I never really talked to him other than say
Yeah.
hi.
Yeah.
Now, naturally, I'm not in practice because I definitely would have made an appointment for him right there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, well, I'm not going to, here's my card. No, fuck that, right? No,
Yeah.
I know what my new patient times are. You're going to either come in this afternoon or tomorrow morning. That's our choice. Which one's
Yeah.
better, afternoons or mornings? Great. I got a time this afternoon. Let's go. Right. Don't worry about it. Consultation's on me. Just get your butt in there. You got an autoimmune disease. I help people with that every day. Would you like to not have it?
Yes.
Would life be better if you didn't have rheumatoid arthritis?
Fred, let me do this. What's your last name? DiDomenico.
Yeah.
Do this. I'm going to grab your cell number and then I'm going to have my staff call you and we're going to get you in the office. We'll get you a checkup. And I'll tell you what I do. I love that you came over and feel like we had a real good connection. Let me gift you. Let me give you a gift of health. I'm going to do that first checkup at whatever, or I'm going to compliment you with that and no charge for that. And we'll get you in the office Wednesday, probably work. I'll message Elisa right now. That work for you? Great. And then give me your cell. I'll give you a quick text. Like that's it.
Yeah.
Do it
Book them an
right there.
appointment,
There it
man.
is.
If you
Done.
don't, I always say if their name isn't on the schedule,
Yeah.
you're just a fucking nice guy.
Yes,
It
exactly.
doesn't matter. There's no matter. Like, think about the phrase, well, it doesn't matter. What's that mean? In the quantum universe, you didn't create wave energy into
Yes,
matter,
yes, yes,
right? And
yeah,
that's why doesn't it matter? There's no emotion to it.
yes,
So if their name isn't on the schedule, you're just another fucking nice guy.
exactly.
Nice guys don't build praxis, man. Leaders build praxis.
Right. You got to be a leader. Leader means tell the truth. And again, saying the same thing, but you're not trying to reprimand or shame them. You're not trying to be right. You're not trying to, Charlie Kirk had a great way and obviously he had a shtick about him. But in the scheme of things, I'm not trying to embarrass somebody or be right in the sense of being right. I'm trying to lead them. I'm trying to help them. I'm trying to get them to understand, listen, well, when's the last time you've been looked at? Who's looked after you? Have you ever had this checked yet? Geez, that concerns me. Think about how your body communicates. So when that's crooked, what's it doing? You know what? Let me do this. Let me get your name and I'll get you into the office. Like it's so easy. Now, if she says, geez, I appreciate that, but I'm not comfortable with that. Or, I have a chiropractor, or I wouldn't ever go to a chiropractor. It's cool. You know what? Listen, I appreciate that. Thanks for being transparent with me. I know the people I take care of, they're always the healthiest people. So when I see somebody having a health challenge like you, my heart goes out to you and I'd love to honor to take care of you. Here, take a card, or you know what? In the future, if I can ever help out or your position changes, give me a call. Just love on them and move on. You know what? I'm going to ask the next person. I'm going to go ask the next person. I'm going to go ask the next person. I'm good for 3 out of 10. So I know if I go out today and hit 10, I'm going to get 3 new ones. If I do that 3 days a week, shit, I got 9, I got 10 new ones a week just by going out and interact with people telling them I'm a chiropractor.
Yeah, now somebody said, well, I don't go to chiropractors. I go, well, maybe that's the problem, but let me ask you
Yeah,
why. Yeah, I want to know why.
exactly.
What experience did you have,
Exactly.
man? Who told you
Exactly.
something fucked up? Obviously,
Right.
there's somebody didn't tell you something, otherwise you'd be living that lifestyle.
Exactly. What I do this, Fred. Same thing. I go, well, let me ask you a question. If I saw you doing this and you were going like, oh my God, this is horrible. And I said, hey, who's your dentist? Oh, I don't have a dentist. I'll go to the dentist. Like, what would you say? What would be the challenge there? Would you say now's a good time to start? I mean, so you're going like this, like, oh, I'm feeling horrible. So, maybe it's time to think about, hey, there's something you're not taking care of, right? Like maybe that
There's
is
something
the
you
tipping.
don't know.
Right, exactly. It's
Yeah.
crazy. It is easy. It is easy. The question that I want people to leave is why aren't you being a more of a leader? And I say that out of love to everyone. Look at yourself and go, why am I not being as strong of a leader? What prevents you from taking that role? Why would you shy away from it? Why are you writing stories in the moment like, ah, now's not a good time, or now they're going to say no, or whatever? Like, why does that stop you? And then try to find something bigger than that excuse. Find something more powerful, more motivational for
Yeah,
yourself.
like the purpose and the
Yeah,
principle.
for yourself, and find that, and that'll help you. It's a good step, the first step to help you getting through that to ask more people. So
Yeah. Cool,
awesome.
man. Well, we'll wrap this up. Hey, we're
Yes,
back on track.
back
So
on.
please be
Here we
comment,
go.
subscribe. Yeah. Hey, watch these things. And please share these. Please share these
Yeah,
because
yeah,
these little one-liners that you're hearing and the mindset.
yeah,
I mean, it's time. You look at the world is thirsting for the chiropractic message. I
yes,
mean, shit, Joe, we've been waiting almost 40 years for a time like
yeah,
this in history,
yes,
right?
yes, yes.
So it's time to get
Fantastic.
busy. So anyway,
Great
love you,
telling you,
brother.
man.
Great to be
Love you too,
connected with you
brother.
again.
Ci vediamo. See you guys later. Have a good one. We got a big event in Fort Lauderdale, 24th, 25th. We still got some seats. So if you're like, hey, listen, I want more Arborio and here's some more great stories. Here's some good analogies. Get fired up by some other docs that are doing. I mean, we've got 8 of our speakers are all seeing 200 people a day. 8 of our speakers are seeing 200 people a day. They're seeing 600 people a week. Tell me you're not going to benefit from listening to their story, right?
Yeah,
Awesome.
awesome, man. And we got a day one boot camp coming up December 12th through the 14th in Salt Lake City. And we are going to show you three simple steps to get 100% of your patients to agree chiropractic is a healthcare lifestyle
Yeah,
on day one.
yeah,
You do these three steps, everybody will agree.
yes,
There you
yeah.
go. All right, man.
Leading.
Peace.
Talk
Take
to you.
care.
Peace out.